Alex here from Utopic Labs. In this video, I kind of want to go over how things have changed for me in 2023, how this one simple decision completely changed everything. And I wanted to make this video a bit more inspirational to kind of show the behind the scenes of what's going on behind these videos, why we're doing them, and also what led us to this point. But first, I also want to give you some context about who I am and to show you that I'm not special. I haven't done anything out of the normal until 2023. So I was born in Romania, and as you might know, it's a relatively poor country. That's why a lot of people go work elsewhere. And I never had rich parents. I don't come from like a super wealthy family. You know, nobody ever paid for my rent. Nobody ever paid for my food, my traveling, or anything in life. I always had to work for the things that I wanted. I always had to work for, you know, during university, for example, I had to work a full-time job to be able to afford my own rent, to be able to survive throughout those years, right? I didn't have access to a maintenance loan, which most people here in the UK do have. So it was basically just studying, go to the library, then go to work, then go to the library, then go to work. And that was pretty much my day for 4 years during university. But contrary to many people, I always knew that the online space was going to be the trampoline to allow me to make the money that I wanted. So yes, I did go to university, but I always knew deep down that the online space was going to be my thing and not just, you know, the academic world. And to this day, I truly believe that there is no better way, no better vehicle for you to be able to make money than the internet. I do have people in my circle, super young, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, making 10,000, 15,000, 50,000 up to 200,000 a month, just either with social media, with agencies, and so on. So I have proofs all around me that internet money is not just something that you see on Instagram, that's something that you see on YouTube, some kid flashing a Lambo. It's something that's real, and there are so many people making tens of thousands a month. You will not believe it. And listen, I know that you might think that it's hard. It's super counterintuitive because we've been taught since we were in university, since we were in school, that you need a lot of hard work to be able to achieve a good job, to have money, to be able to afford certain things, etc. But again, that belief for me was broken when I've seen 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds making more money than some CEOs or some people with 10, 15, 20-year careers. And what I'm about to tell you in this video, it's the living proof of what I'm saying to you. So going back in 2022, mid-2022, we started the social media page with the idea of obviously getting more followers, but most importantly to make money. And keep in mind that this wasn't my first rodeo with online businesses. I tried growing an Instagram page before, and that was before you had Reels, you had all of these other methods to get views, to get people in, and it was just purely posts. So I was posting every day. I got the page to 15,000 followers, nothing super crazy. I also tried e-commerce. I was trying to sell some bracelets. So I ordered from China some beads, some like an elastic or something, and I was trying to create these bracelets and try to sell them through that page as well. And back then that didn't work, and that was mainly because I got demotivated. I had people around me that were like, oh, what are you doing? Like, you should be focusing on studying, you should be focusing on university, etc. So obviously I had my full-time job, I also had university, and I was still trying to do something on the side. So my time was super scarce. I didn't have time to go out, I didn't have time to party, and yeah, that was life for me back then. But that being said, me and Gladys, we decided to take the social media page seriously, and in 7 months we grew it to over 800,000 followers on TikTok and around 80,000 followers on Instagram. And that was in the space of 7 months. And by this point we already had a big following, right? We had over 900,000 people just seeing our content, and they were engaging with us, commenting, etc. And that for us was already a huge achievement. Like, we were never able to achieve those results, you know, having 900,000 people just looking at your content, interacting with you, etc. That was a huge thing. And as a result of us getting the followers and the views, we also managed to interact with other entrepreneurs. We ended up speaking to Luke, we ended up speaking with a few more people, we ended up speaking with Iman as well. So it was super great for us to achieve these things, and as a result of that also be able to interact with these people. Well, with that being said, we had loads of followers, but we were still not making any money, right? So we still had 900,000 followers, but we never promoted anything, we never sold anything, we never sponsored anyone on our page for money, we didn't do anything. So we just had a huge following, that was all. And logically speaking, the next step for us would have been to monetize this in some way. right? So we could have, sponsored people on our page, but that would have hurt our credibility in the long term. We could have created a community, but we didn't really have time because we still had our jobs. We were working with Luke on some projects, and at the same time we had to, work on this community and be there and try to speak to people and help them. So it was just not feasible. And the third option that we came up with was to create a digital product and try to sell that. So we ended up creating some digital products that were around our passion, which at the time was biohacking, consistency, discipline, productivity, and so on. And we packaged everything together. We had a whole bundle where we had different guides, and we also had a Notion template to kind of centralize all the information. And that's what we were basically selling. And guess what? The first day that we actually made this public to our audience, everything went crazy. The first day that we posted this, I was on my way to the airport to go see my mom in Milan, and the first sale started coming through. I was at the check-in point, I was leaving my luggages, and I checked my phone, and we already had, I think it was around 10 sales, so we had around $100 by that point. And that for me just felt completely surreal. For the first time, it actually felt like we achieved something big. It wasn't just some numbers on the screen. We were generally getting some money out of this whole, social media. And things didn't really end there. We got all the feedback from the people, improved the product, added more worksheets. We basically revamped the whole product as well as improving the website. So everything just looked completely different. It was so much better. And by that point, we also thought, okay, well, we want to scale faster. We don't want to be fully dependent on how many views we get on videos. We don't want to be dependent on our audience and how many times we promote this on the stories, because at one point people will just be bored of it. So what we did, we decided to add Facebook ads as another marketing channel. And we essentially used the money that we got from the organic. So we had a few $100, $400 or $500, and we used that to run ads. And we quickly started seeing results. We had our first $500 day, $1,000 day, and quickly we got to $2,000 a day. And in 45 days, from the first sale that we ever made with paid ads, we managed to scale it to $35,000 in a month. And listen, I get it. It's not the millions that you might see from other people. I'm not flashing a Lambo. I'm not living in Miami just buying Richard Milles day in, day out, right? But what I found is a way to leverage social media and the internet to be able to add an extra 1, 2, 5, up to 10. In our case, we made $35,000 in 1 month. So it's a way for you to be able to have a better lifestyle. And I generally believe that everyone can do this. This is completely different from agency, from e-commerce, from dropshipping. We literally didn't start with any money. So in e-commerce, you need loads of money to start with. In dropshipping, everything is super saturated. You just, and you can't really diversify yourself from others. So if you're selling one product, there's probably another 100 to 500 to maybe 1,000 people selling the exact same product, because it's dropshipping. The barrier of entry is super low. So everyone can just sell the same thing. And you also need access to agents and so on. So it wasn't feasible. And when you look at agency, we tried that as well, and it's just super complicated. You would not believe how complex it is for you to be able to get clients, for you to be able to jump on calls with them and close them. And then the most important part, to also the service delivery, right? So everything that you see online, it's oversimplified. When you go to actually do it, it's not as easy as these people tell you. And listen, maybe you won't make 35K in 45 days. Maybe you won't even make $10,000. But if you're just starting out, making $1,000 to $2,000, it's not that hard. All you need to do is sell 1 to 3 digital products per day for a month. It's truly not that hard. And this alone might allow you to get a better car. Maybe you can go on vacation more often. Maybe you want to treat your parents to a nice dinner. Maybe you want to go on vacation with your girlfriend or with your boyfriend. It just makes your life a tiny bit better, a tiny bit more enjoyable. And that's exactly what it did for us. It allowed me and Gladys to move to a better area in London whilst, having access to a sauna, gym, jacuzzi, swimming pool, and cold shower. So it allowed us to eat better food. Everything that we have nowadays is just organic. And I get it. Some people might say, well, organic might not make a difference. Cool, that's your opinion. In my opinion, it does make a difference. And I would rather eat better food than go out and drink, etc. So I guess it's just choices. With that being said, also it allows us to go on holiday with our friends and treat them to maybe a dinner, to, experiences. Last time we went to Gran Canaria and we did jet skis and we did some other experiences. We got like quads and yeah, we just paid for it. So, you know, it doesn't really depend on how much money they have, if they can afford the experience or not. We just paid for it just because we wanted to have a good time. And that's the kind of things that you will be able to do with an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And again, you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars nor hundreds of thousands of views to be able to do that. All you need is 1 hour a day to create some clips, edit them, and upload them to be able to generate attention. That's the main thing nowadays. You just need to generate attention. And then you can leverage that attention to be able to sell your digital product. And now you might think, well, I don't know how to create a digital product, or I think it's going to be too complicated. Keep in mind that we scaled to $35,000 a month with 7 PDFs and 1 Notion template. That was literally all. So when you think that it's hard, and also just to mention that we didn't have ChatGPT back then. We didn't have anything that helped us to create these digital products. It was done all in Canva. I spent weeks trying to create these guides, doing research, watching loads of podcasts, sharing my experience as well, and kind of create some frameworks that I used for myself that worked and that I could share with other people to make them achieve the same results. And listen, I know for a fact that there is something that you're passionate about and other people might find useful. And listen, you don't have to be an expert to put together a digital product that might make you $2,000 to $3,000 a month. All you need is to be a few steps ahead of the people that you're selling it to. And let me just give you a quick example. Say that you want to share your passion about improving sleep, and you have a 9-to-5 job, and you also have kids, and you also want to balance, I don't know, working out. Your advice on how to improve the sleep might be far more useful than someone else that's a professional in improving sleep, but they only do this for elite athletes, because their advice is more tailored for elite athletes rather than for someone that has a job, maybe they have a family and they want to work out, right? So your advice in this case is far more important, is far more relatable than someone else that's a certified expert. And again, I'm not saying that you need to lie about the things that you do. I would always recommend you to try these things first, try it on your own and see if they truly help. So without elongating this too much, I just want to share with you how my life has changed in the space of a few months, right? Since we created that audience and then we started monetizing it. And yeah, it just allows me to live in a nicer place, allows me to have a bit more peace of mind. And I know it could do the same for you. And also, if you're interested in knowing how we did it all, then you can check the first link in the description. We basically have a community where we help people just like you to get started growing a social media presence as well as monetizing it with digital products. In there we have templates, we have ChatGPTs to help you throughout the whole process, as well as having the people that will be able to give you their help, as well as you having access to us. Then we can just give you more tailored help. Otherwise, I have put together a 2-hour free masterclass where you can just learn everything that we have used to grow our pages from absolute zero to 800,000 followers on TikTok and 80,000 followers on Instagram. In there, I literally go through everything, explain the algorithm, explaining how to use stories to sell, explaining all the funnels that you can build within Instagram, as well as how to leverage TikTok to make money and so on. So yeah, if that's your interest, then you can find it up here. Either way, I'll see you soon.